Our friend and YouTuber extraordinaire, Tim, from the YouTube channel Lady K, put out a video about the Valiant 40. And in that video, I enjoy watching his videos. And in that video, he has a list of everything that your boat needs to be a true blue water boat. As he goes through the list, I realized that our boat used to have every single thing on that list checked until I messed with it, and now it no longer does. So, have I made the boat worse? I don't think so. We are sailing around the world the hard way. On our abandoned 1980s ketch, refitted on a very tight budget, now has all the luxuries you could ever want. This channel is more about technical advice and sharing knowledge than the journey itself. Sometimes with science, sometimes our mistakes, but always having fun. After you watch this video all the way to the end so that the YouTube gods don't strike me down, you should go and watch his video. It's a good watch and the link is down in the description. So let's go through the list of the things that this boat had when I bought it. Encapsulated keel, check. Slab reefing, check. Skeg hung rudder, check. Small sails, it's a ketch, so check. Baby stay, check. Boom not lethal, check. Our boom is higher than the top of our heads. Self steer, check. Cable steering, we have a different version, but it's not a complicated hydraulic system, so check. Good engine, check. Water maker, doesn't work, but check. It will be working. Maneuverable, yeah, check. Upwind decent, yeah, it's decent. It's not very good, but it's decent. Check. No core, yeah, there's no core on this baby. Check. Deck to hull joint, it's all fiberglass. Check. Thick glass, check. Chain plates, check. They are easily accessible and you can see if they are good and replace them, and so check. The boat used to have all the checks. Now, I would add some things to this list, like an interior helming position for when the weather is really, really bad. 2 masts, because, you know, you should always carry a spare mast, and other things like that. But we're talking about this list today. Our boat had all these things, so what have I changed and why? The first thing that I changed was I removed the slab reefing and installed Easy Furl on both masts. In case you don't know what it is, Easy Reef is a furling system for the sails that you attach outside of your mast. So it's like in-mast furling, but it's not really in-mast. This has a couple of advantages and disadvantages. One of them is that it doesn't compromise the strength of your mast because it's outside, so it doesn't have that hollow cutout part of the mast. Another thing is that you can easily access every single part and you can take it apart without taking the mast off, which is also good. I can already hear you guys down in the comments going like, in-mast furling is horrible, it's prone to problems, and I would never own a sailboat that has in-mast furling, and it's not a true blue water boat if it has in-mast furling, etc., etc. Well, 20 years ago, that's the way people felt about Genoa furling. And today, nobody batters an eye at a boat that has Genoa or jib furling. So maybe in 20 years' time, in-mast furling will be the normal and nobody will say that it's just inherently bad. You can have problems, of course, because it's a mechanical system. But you can also have problems in slab reefing. There are 2 main reasons why I made this change. The first one is, the easier it is to deploy your sails and furl them away in this case, the more you will use them and the sooner you will reef. Think about it. If you're out on a boat and you have to go to the mast to pull up your mainsail, if you have, let's say, 5 knots of wind, and all of a sudden you start having 10, you are going to wait for at least 15 to 30 minutes before you go up there and pull your sail, because you don't know if that wind is going to stay or not. On the other hand, if you are in 15 knots of wind and all of a sudden it starts to blow 20, you are going to wait a little bit before you reef, because maybe that 20 will go down, but maybe it will go up. So having a system that you just pull on a line and it furls your sail to the size that you want it is amazing. And I really like it, and I think it's worth the potential for having some problems some mechanical problems that can arise from a mechanical system. But if you keep on top of it, you'll be fine. And if you don't furl it, like, here's the thing. I believe that most of the bad name for in-mast furling systems comes from charter pilots, because they don't know how, not charter pilots, charter skippers, they don't know how to use the system, and they just pull the line and furl it all, without tension, and then it gets all wonky inside of the mast, and then it's crap. But owners of boats who have in-mast furling, they very, very, very rarely have issues with it, because they know how they are supposed to furl the sails. They don't just pull on the line. There are downsides though. You are not going to be able to have a sail that is as large as if you have slab reefing, because it has to be a triangle for the sail to furl in there, because you can't have battens. So those are the two worst things about it. No battens, and the sail area is smaller. But hey, for a blue water boat, small sails, it's not that bad. It's actually more comfortable. The other reason why I decided to go with this system is that we are going to sail in pretty cold conditions. And what happens sometimes when you are in really cold conditions and you are sailing is that you have your sail up for a day or two, and as the humid air hits the boat, it freezes, and it freezes the cars on the tracks. So then when you want to bring your sail down, you can't. It's frozen up there. And it can really, really suck, because then sometimes you have to go up the mast and take all that ice out before you can take out the sail. And if it's a gale, that's a problem. If you have in-mast furling, what might happen is that it rains, the sail gets wet inside of the furling system, and then you might have problems bringing the sail out. But you generally don't have problems pulling the sail in, because when the sail is out, the system inside is empty, and the only thing that can basically freeze is the bearings. But the bearings, with just a little tug of the line, they will just start spinning, and you can always furl the sail. So yeah, that's why I changed that, and now our boat is no longer a blue water boat. Oh no! The second thing that I changed, actually I didn't change, I just removed it, and this one is going to be controversial as well, is our Aries wind vane. I took it off the boat, and here's why I did that. Even though YouTubers that got a wind vane for free tell you it's the best thing since sliced bread, the technology is really, really outdated, and it doesn't work most of the time. You need the conditions to be absolutely perfect so that it would work. Sometimes it gets algae stuck on the pendulum and then it stops working. It doesn't work under engine, obviously, unless you have wind. But then if you have wind, you're sailing. So yeah, it's no good when you're under engine. It doesn't work pinching. If you're pinching into the wind, it just falls off. Sometimes, not all of the time, but it's not reliable. It doesn't work when you have big waves on the beam, because as the boat does this, the pendulum just goes from one side to the other, and the boat just loses tracking. It doesn't work close to shore or in rivers, because you need leeway to be able to use a wind vane. Because if the wind changes, your boat's course is going to change as well. And at that time, if you're like really close to shore or in a river, you might just want to steer yourself. It's a really heavy weight hanging at the back of your boat. At least our Aries is super heavy. It interfered with the access to the swimming platform on the back, of course, and it interfered with the dinghy davits as well. Here's the main reason I decided to take it off and store it, just in case I change my mind, because sometimes I do that, I change my mind. It's because in conditions where it works, I don't need it. Because this is a catch, I can balance the boat so well that you don't even need, if the conditions are right, this is not every time, but if the conditions are right, you can balance the boat so well that you don't need a self-steering system. The boat will just track along, keeping the same angle to the wind. So why carry that? Instead, I got 2 full autopilots installed, and if one breaks, we still have another, and we still have spares. The biggest reason most boats, blue water boats, had self-steering vanes using the wind, besides the redundancy and all of that, is because it was not really feasible to cross an ocean using an autopilot. Because you would always need to turn on a generator to charge up your batteries, because the autopilots sucked all of the juice out of your batteries. But not anymore. In our boat, we can, with our autopilot, we can use it for like 12 days straight without needing to recharge the batteries. All because of new technology like lithium, the fact that the motors for the autopilots are much more efficient. In our case, it's a hydraulic unit, so it's silent. I can set it to the wind. I can set it to hold a course. I can set it to follow the plot on the chart plotter. It's so much better. You know, sometimes I feel we just have to move with technology and let go of these old things. But I might be wrong. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. Anyway, if you're still watching, you're a freaking hero. And to all our superheroes, thank you so much for supporting the channel. This week we have a new skipper level superhero, and one of the perks is that you get a shout out. So here it goes. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to shout out. This is so embarrassing. Okay, here we go. Daniel Traplin! What? No, I'm fine. I was just doing a YouTube thing. I'm fine.